Hi everyone, it's Monica, and welcome back to Tailor-Made Cards for You. Well, I know my 7 days of Halloween ended yesterday, but I wanted to go ahead and do a bonus video to share with you a mixed media project that I worked on, which is a little bit hard for me to actually tape for a series. Whenever I am creating a mixed media item, it does take me a while because a lot of times I'm kind of making it up as I go along. I have an idea of what I want to create, but I'm not always sure how I'm going to get there. So I wanted to go ahead and share with you this, I guess it's a photo frame that I created. And the idea behind this was a vintage family photo, but kind of like a creepy one. So the frame that I'm using is just a frame that I picked up over at Michael's. And as you can see, I kind of used it not necessarily like a frame because I'm using just the background of it. And then I added some walnut, let's see here, I used actually ground espresso distress stain for the frame to color up the frame. And then I added that copper texture paste to kind of give it a little bit of an old look. And then the background that I'm using is from Corp brand, and it's one of those Architextures backgrounds. And I really liked it because it looked like tattered wallpaper. So I thought it would be a good background to kind of make it look like a creepy old house. All right, then of course, the people that I'm using in my family photo are from the Tim Holtz collection, and these are the paper dolls. And you could easily transform this into a card. I just like the way that it looked on a frame because I could make it stand out a little bit more. But this could easily be turned into a card. There are some wallpaper items from Tim Holtz, and I think he does have some Halloween ones. I'm not really sure, but I'll look for you and I'll code them, or I'll link them below if there are some Halloween wallpapers, but I'll definitely link the one that I used from Corp brand. And then once I had my background, then it was just as simple as adding glue to add my paper dolls. Now, I wanted the woman to be the focal point of my picture. She's the matriarch of the family. So I popped her up with some foam tape. And then for the daughter and the husband, I just kind of glued them on the background. And I really love this daughter because her hand was perfect to put on the shoulder of the mother. And so many times when we do family photos, they always have you put your hand on the parent. This does seem to be a standard pose that many photographers use. So it was a perfect paper doll to be able to use for the daughter. And as you can see, this is going together really well. The piece is going to be something that I can put just as decoration in the house. I could even put it on the wall if I wanted to. But I just wanted to show you that not only can you use some of these items that are in your stash to create cards, but you can also use them for decorations around the house. And many times, a lot of you are a little intimidated to create some mixed media items, and I wanted to show you how easy it was to just transform this from just creating a card to actually creating a piece that you can use as decoration during the holiday season. And remember, you can find some of these old frames, not just at Michael's, but you can find them at thrift shops as well. And sometimes you can get these old frames really cheap, and they actually look old and vintage. And then all you have to do is maybe get some sandpaper and, scuff them up a little bit. And then they would be great for Halloween. And then you can easily just add grunge board or some sort of backing. And if you don't want to do like I did on this one, then you can create an insert to actually go inside of the frame. So if you are a paper crafter, then just taking it to the next step or the next level to do some mixed media is not very far away. I know some of you guys do get intimidated, but I wanted to show you how simple it was to actually put this together. And then once I had my paper dolls on my background, then I wanted to go ahead and add a little sentiment. And the sentiment that I'm using is one of the Tim Holtz chipboards. And this is a sentiment that I've been dying to use. I get it in my set every single year. And I've never used this sentiment because usually when I look at it, I think of a bride and groom. And there is a bride and groom in the paper doll set, but I've never used them. I probably couldn't easily create ghoulish bride and groom, but I've never really gone down that path. So the Till Death Do Us Part I thought was a great addition to this mixed media piece, because it does work not only for a bride and groom, but certainly it could work for a family as well. All right, so after I had glued my sentiment on the top of my wallpaper, then I also wanted to add a little bit of color to my paper dolls. Now, certainly if you wanted to leave them black and white, that would have worked as well, but I really wanted to add a little bit of color just to have it pop just a bit more. And I wanted to be able to make it look a little tattered. The black and white is great. It looks vintage, but I was going for more of a tattered look. So I wanted to add just some color to make not only his suit look a little bit tattered, but also her dress as well. So I took out my distress crayons and I just added a little bit of color. And as you can see, this is a real easy technique to add color. I'm just using the oils from my finger to be able to spread the color on the paper doll. And this definitely does work easier with some of the bigger paper dolls than with some of the small ones, because you have obviously a bigger surface to work with. And the color that I worked with for his suit was the pilled paint. And then for her dress, I'm using the rusty hinge. And her dress is a little bit darker. It has more of the black versus some of the lighter highlights on the dress. So I just added my distress crayon to parts of the dress and just kind of moved the medium with the oils in my finger. And then when I get to the face, I'll show you here in a minute, I am using the antique linen. And for that, I decided to actually wet my paintbrush for a little bit more moisture, because I wanted to be able to have a little bit more control over some of the coloring in their face. Now, surprisingly enough, I don't keep a lot of my mixed media items. I do have a few that I have hanging up in my craft room, but a lot of times these decoration or these wall hangings go into my shop. And this will be one of them that does head to the shop as well. So if you are interested in picking this up, I only have one. It is going to be over in my shop. So be sure to check it out. And then I have another wall hanging that I created last year that I believe is still available as well. So I'll leave the links below for you to check those out. Now, even though my 7 Days of Halloween series is officially over, I will still be creating some Halloween cards along the way up through October 31st. And during this time, I'm also going to start creating just some fall themed cards. I know a lot of us love to create Halloween cards, and sometimes we forget about just fall cards. And some of those colors in your cards can be so beautiful. I am going to be hosting a fall colors video hop next month on the 15th, so be sure to watch for that. And a lot of my crafty friends will be participating in that. So not only will you get some ideas from me, but you'll get some ideas from the other video crafters out there as well. And while I was putting away some of my Halloween cards that I've created during this series, I noticed I have an abundance of Halloween cards. So I decided that any sale that I have in the month up through the 15th of next month, if you purchase anything in my shop, then I'm going to also include a Halloween card that you can keep or use or whatever you like. It will just be a way for me to get through my Halloween card stash. And certainly be able to share some of my cards with you as well at no additional cost. So I'll have a link to my shop. So if you haven't checked out my shop yet, be sure to check it out. And again, any purchase, regardless of what it is, but it has to be a mailed purchase, not a digital. Any purchase that you have up through October 15th, I'm going to be including a Halloween card. And who knows, it might be one of the cards that I created in this series. So as always, I'll leave a list of all the products that I've used to create this wall hanging along with the links to the stores. And if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. Like I said, I will be back sporadically over the next couple of months creating some more Halloween cards for you as well as some fall cards, but it won't be every day like I did in my series. Believe it or not, the series do take a lot of work and a lot of time, but I really enjoy them, and I appreciate all of the support y'all gave me through the 7 Days of Halloween series. It really was a lot of fun, and I got a lot of encouragement along the way. Now, the drawing for the 7 Days of Halloween is going to be in a week, so be watching for that video as well. And I think I'm going to do a drawing on every video So I'll be able to give away lots of goodies. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you again next time.